Your dog has a favorite person. You probably already know who it is. Maybe it is you. Maybe it is someone else in your house. Maybe it is someone who only visits occasionally, and your dog loses their mind every single time they walk through the door. And if you are honest, if you are completely honest, you have wondered about this. Why them? What do they have that I do not? What are they doing that I am missing? And if the favorite person is not you, there is something else underneath that question. Something that feels a little bit like rejection from a dog, which should feel ridiculous, but does not at all, because your dog's love matters to you more than you probably admit, and the idea that they might love someone else more sits in a specific uncomfortable place that no amount of logic dissolves. Well, today, that discomfort ends, because today we decode exactly how your dog chooses their favorite person. Not based on guesses, not based on internet myths, based on the actual science, the real research, the specific mechanisms in your dog's brain and body that drive this decision. And once you understand them, you will not just understand who your dog chose. You will know exactly how to become the person they choose every day for the rest of your life together. Welcome to Dog IQ. If this is your first time here, subscribe right now, because every single week we give you the science that changes how you see the dog in your life. Today we go deep. Let us start. Before we go into how dogs choose, let me tell you something personal. I used to think my dog preferred my partner. They would follow them from room to room, greet them with more intensity, choose to sit beside them when both of us were in the room. And I did all the feeding, all the walking, most of the training, and it bothered me more than I wanted to admit until I learned the science. And when I learned the science, two things happened. First, I understood exactly why they had chosen my partner. Second, I understood exactly what I needed to change. And within weeks, the dynamic shifted, not because I manipulated my dog, but because I finally understood what they were actually looking for, and I gave it to them. That is what this video gives you today. The first thing you need to understand is that dogs do not choose based on who loves them most. This is the most common misconception, and it is the one that causes the most heartbreak. You can love your dog completely, deeply, unconditionally, and still not be their favorite person, because your dog does not choose based on the intensity of your feelings. They choose based on the quality of specific interactions. And there is a profound difference between those two things. Your feelings exist inside you. Your dog cannot read your feelings directly. What they can read is your behavior, your presence, your energy, the specific ways you engage with them, and the specific ways you do not. So the question is never, how much do I love my dog? The question is, what does my love look like from where my dog is standing? The second thing you need to understand is that the choice is not always permanent. Dogs update their preferences based on new data, based on new interactions, based on who is consistently showing up in the specific ways that matter to them. This means two things. If you are already the favorite, you can lose that position through inconsistency, through distraction, through taking the relationship for granted. And if you are not the favorite, you can become the favorite through specific, deliberate, consistent actions that we are going to go through today. The door is always open in both directions. Now let us get into the actual science. How does your dog choose? The research identifies 6 primary factors, 6 specific things that dogs weight when forming their preference for a specific human. And understanding these 6 factors changes everything. Factor number 1, socialization overlap. And this is the one that explains a lot about why some dogs choose the people they choose. Dogs form their deepest attachment templates during what behaviorists call the critical socialization period, between 3 and 14 weeks of age. During this window, a puppy is learning what people look like, sound like, smell like, move like, and the types of people they are most exposed to during this window become their default, their template for what a human is supposed to be. Which means, if a puppy was raised primarily by women during this period, they may have a lifelong tendency toward preferring women. If they were raised primarily by people with calm, quiet energy, they may prefer calm, quiet people throughout their life. If they were raised in a house with children, children may feel more familiar, more safe, more right than adults in certain situations. This is not a choice your dog is making consciously. It is a template that was written before they even came to you, and understanding it explains something important. If your dog seems to consistently prefer a specific type of person, a specific energy, a specific demographic, it may not be about what you are doing right now. It may be about what happened before you. And while you cannot rewrite that template entirely, you can work within it. You can adjust your energy to match what their nervous system finds familiar. You can create enough new positive experiences to build a new association, one that says, this person person, even though they are different from my template, is the safest person in my world. Factor number 2, positive association. And this is the one most people think they understand, but consistently misapply. Dogs form preferences for people who are associated with good things, with pleasurable experiences, with safety and comfort and joy. This seems obvious, but here is the nuance most people miss. The positive association has to be consistent, not occasional, not when it is convenient. Consistent. A person who gives your dog a treat once in a while does not build the same association as a person who is reliably associated with good things every single time they are present. It is the consistency of the positive experience, not the intensity of a single moment, that builds the deepest preference. This is why the person who feeds your dog every day sometimes becomes the favorite, but not always, because feeding alone is not enough. What matters is the quality of the interaction that surrounds the feeding. Are you present during the meal? Are you acknowledging them? Are you making that moment meaningful? Or are you rushing through it? Because your dog is not just recording that food appeared. They are recording who made the food appear and how that person felt while doing it. Factor number 3, attention and engagement quality. And this is the factor that most often determines who the favorite actually is. Because most dogs choose the person who plays with them most, not in quantity. In quality, there is a specific type of play, a specific type of engagement that activates something in your dog's brain that nothing else activates quite the same way. It is the play that is fully present, where the person is completely there, where they are not half engaged while also watching television, where they are genuinely in it, reading the dog, responding to the dog, laughing, moving, being completely available. Research on dog-human play interaction has shown that the person who plays with a dog most fully, who is most present during play, produces the strongest dopamine response in the dog's brain, the most powerful neurological reward. And your dog's brain does what every brain does. It seeks the source of that reward. It moves toward it, chooses it over and over, not because that person is the most responsible, not because they do the most for the dog, but because being with them feels better. In a way, the brain registers as significant, and the brain always chooses what feels best. Factor number 4, respect for signals. And this one is the most underestimated of all 6, because most people think becoming a dog's favorite is about doing more play, more treats, more attention, but the research tells a different story. One of the strongest predictors of canine preference is whether a person respects their dog's signals. Specifically, their signals that say, I need space right now. Their signals that say, I am not comfortable with this interaction. Their signals that say, I am at my threshold. A dog who is regularly forced into interactions they did not choose, who is hugged when they showed they did not want to be hugged, who is approached by strangers when they showed they were uncomfortable, may still love their owner, but they may not choose them as their safe person, because a safe person is someone whose presence reduces threat, not someone who occasionally creates it. Contrast this with a person who reads those signals, who backs off when the dog shows discomfort, who creates space when the dog needs space, who advocates for the dog before the dog has to advocate for themselves. That person becomes something extraordinary in the dog's experience. They become predictable in the best possible way. They become the person whose presence always means, I do not have to worry right now because this person is paying attention, and this person will not let anything happen to me. That association of their presence with complete safety is one of the most powerful drivers of preference that exists. Factor number 5, physical affection that matches preference. And this one requires some nuance. Not all dogs want the same type of physical affection, and the person who gives a dog the type of touch they actually enjoy, rather than the type the human wants to give, creates a stronger bond. Most humans default to one of 2 types of touch, the enthusiastic pat and hug, or the absent-minded casual stroke. But dogs have specific preferences. Some dogs love long, slow, deliberate strokes along the chest and sides. Some dogs love specific scratch spots behind the ears or at the base of the tail. Some dogs love the weight of a hand resting on them. Some dogs are actually not that interested in physical contact and prefer proximity over touch. The person who takes the time to discover exactly what their specific dog enjoys and delivers that specific type of contact consistently becomes associated with something uniquely pleasurable, something that no other person provides in quite the same way. And that specificity, that tuned-in, individualized attention, signals something profound to your dog. This person knows me, not a dog, me. And being known, deeply and specifically known, is one of the most powerful human and animal needs there is. Factor number 6, 6. Emotional attunement. And this is the deepest factor of all. Dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to human emotional states. They read cortisol through your breath. They read adrenaline through your sweat. They read tension through the leash. They read everything. And what they prefer, what they move toward, is not just someone who is calm, but someone who is calm specifically with them. Someone whose nervous system settles when the dog is present. Someone whose energy shifts in a way the dog can detect, toward softness, toward warmth, toward something that says, being with you is where I want to be. Your dog cannot hear the words I love you, but they can feel the physiological state that those words come from. They feel it in your body temperature, in your breathing, in the way your muscles release when they press against you. And a person whose body says I am home when their dog is near is a person whose dog learns I am home when I am near them. That mutual homecoming, that bilateral sense of belonging, is the foundation of the deepest preference a dog can feel. So now you have the 6 factors: socialization overlap, positive association, attention and engagement quality, respect for signals, physical affection that matches preference, and emotional attunement. Now let us talk about what you can actually do, because knowing the science is only half of it. Here is your plan. If you are already the favorite, this is how you stay there. Be consistent, not perfect, consistent. Your dog does not need you to have perfect days. They need you to show up the same way on the ordinary days as you do on the good ones. Be present during play. Put the phone down. Get on the floor. Be fully there. That full presence during play is the single highest return activity available to you. Read and respect their signals. Every time you notice discomfort and back off before they have to escalate, you are making a deposit into a trust account that only grows. If you are not the favorite yet, or if you want to deepen the connection, here is where to start. Start with the one factor that is most immediately in your control: attention and engagement quality, because this is the factor that shows the fastest results. For 15 minutes every day, nothing else, just you and your dog, fully present, playing, engaging, responding to every communication, being completely there. Do this for 2 weeks, without exception, and watch what happens. Not because you forced anything, not because you bought anything, but because you gave your dog the one thing that every living being responds to: the feeling of being someone's complete focus. For 15 minutes every day. And here is the most important thing I can tell you about all of this. The goal is not to win. It is not to be the favorite in some competitive sense. The goal is to build a relationship so full of the right things that your dog has no reason to look elsewhere. Not because they cannot, but because what they have with you is complete, is specific to them, is built from the science of what they actually need, rather than what you assumed they wanted. Your dog did not choose anyone arbitrarily. They never do. Every preference they formed was built on evidence, on experience, on the cumulative data of every interaction they have ever had. And that data can always be added to, can always be updated, can always shift the result toward the outcome you both deserve. A relationship so deeply built on presence and consistency and genuine understanding that the question of who is the favorite becomes irrelevant, because what you have together is not about preference. It is about belonging. And belonging between a human and their dog is one of the most extraordinary things on earth. Before this video ends, 3 things. First, think about which of the 6 factors you are strongest in, and which one needs the most work. Not to judge yourself, to give yourself a starting point. And tonight, work on the one that needs the most attention. Start with 15 minutes of full presence. Put the phone down, get on the floor, and be completely there. Second, drop a comment below. Who does your dog prefer in your house? And after watching this, do you understand why? Because every answer in these comments is a dog whose preference finally makes sense. Third, share this video with everyone in your house who has ever wondered why the dog loves someone else more. Because now they know. And more importantly, now they know what to do about it. If this video changed how you see your dog's preference, give it a thumbs up right now. Subscribe to Dog IQ. Every single week, we give you the science that transforms how you love your dog and how they love you back. Hit the bell. All notifications on. See you in the next one. Your dog is choosing right now. Go give them a reason to choose you.